Hi, friends. It's Mrs. V here. I hope you guys are enjoying your time at home with your parents and your siblings. We're going to go ahead and get started on our first activity. Mrs. V is going to focus with you guys on practicing with your division facts because we know that we've been struggling with that. So, we're going to play a game to get us practicing our division facts. And then we are going to work on those two-step or multi-step problems with addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and then I'm going to give you some practice to do on your own. If you can't get it all done, no worries. The most important part, I would say, for me, would be all of it. But if you had to choose, it would be playing those fluency games because playing those fluency games is going to support you and help you with your work from your classroom teacher. All right, so with that said, let's go ahead and get started. Today, I found you a game for division, and it's called How Many Groups? So, what you're going to need is you're going to need number cards from 8 to 25. So, you can simply take you a piece of paper or get you some index cards, and you're just going to write the numbers on the index cards from 8 to 25. And as you can tell, mine are mixed up for this game. Then you're going to need a dice. So what Miss V has done is I have taken out my Yahtzee game. And so I am going to just use my Yahtzee dice because that's all I have at home. And I didn't bring anything from school, so that's what we're going to use. And then it says counters, but you don't have to have counters. You know how to draw out dots. So you could just have a paper or a whiteboard. Remember, I make my makeshift whiteboards with paper, a piece of cardstock, and it's just sitting in a sheet protector. And we use that at school. So if you want to make one at home, you can. If not, you don't have to. You could just use a regular piece of paper. Okay, so you have to do this with two people. What you're going to do is you are going to shuffle the cards and put them in a stack face down. Okay, you're going to take turns. Each player is going to turn over a number card and take that many counters, and then you're going to roll the dice to make that many groups. Okay, if you have leftovers, you're going to tell me how many. If you don't have leftovers, that's going to be a really good thing. If there are no leftovers, you're going to double the number of groups to get your score. If you do have leftovers, your score is going to be the number of groups that you made. So let me go ahead and show you how this is done. And then we're going to move on to our two-step problems. So you're going to kind of make a chart, and I'm going to show you how to do that. You're going to write your number card. You're going to write the number on your dice. You're going to write your number of groups. You're going to write your leftovers. And then you're going to write your score. So it's going to look something like this. Okay? So I'm the first player. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll over my card. My card says 13. So I'm going to put that under the number card. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw 13 circles. Okay, now I'm going to roll my dice. It says 5. So under dice roll, I'm going to put 5. I'm going to say how many groups I can make. So if I put 5 in each group, I am able to make 2 groups, but I have 3 left over. So for my number of groups, I'm going to put 2. For my number left over, I'm going to say 3. And because I have leftovers, my score is going to be my number of groups, which is 2. Okay? So it would be the next person's turn at this point. So my next card I'm picking says 21. So I'm going to put 21 under the number of cards. I'm going to roll my dice. I got 2. So now I've got to draw 21 circles. And I've got to put them in groups of 2. I get 10 groups, but I have 1 left over. So my score there is going to be a 10 because that's my number of groups. So that's also my score. So player 2, player 1. Okay. And you're going to keep going at this. You can play as many rounds as you want. I'm just asking you to play 5 rounds for today, right? Just to practice those division facts. If you need any help with that, or if you have any questions, or if you need any more um, examples, you let Miss V know. You can send me an email, and that would be fine. Okay, but right now, what we're going to do is we're going to move over to our word problems, and we're going to be doing our 2-step word problems. And so we're going to go ahead and talk about how we do that kind of thing. Okay, so our first problem today is going to be at the campout, Matt's dad cooked 36 hamburgers. Jack's dad cooked 6 fewer hamburgers. How many hamburgers did they cook in all? Now remember, when we do these, we're doing conquer the problem. You need to read and visualize because a story problem is exactly that. It's a story, except this story has numbers and words. So we read it and we visualized it. Now you need to reread it and then we're going to code it for the information that we need. Okay? So at the campout, Matt's dad cooked 36 hamburgers. Jack's dad cooked 6 fewer hamburgers. How many hamburgers did they cook in all? So the first thing we need to know is what's our question? What are we trying to answer? You're right. How many hamburgers did the kid's dad cook in all? Okay, so that is what we're looking for. We're looking for the total amount of hamburgers cooked. So you would underline that question. Okay, what numbers do we need to circle in order to figure that out? Well, we're going to circle 36 and then we're going to circle 6, but not just 6. We're going to circle 6 fewer. because that's important. Okay. And now we need to box those keywords, remember? So, our keywords, words that help us to know, are we adding, are we subtracting, and how do we know that? Well, for this one, I would say we're going to box the words in all, because in all means we're looking for a total. And when we're looking for a total, we are going to either be adding or multiplying. So we're going to box that. And then you box the word fewer, because if I have fewer than somebody else, it means I have less. And if I have fewer or less, then I know that I'm probably going to be subtracting, right? So that's how we go ahead and do that. All right. Now, here's the next thing. You know this is a two-part problem because Mrs. V told you that, right? So we know one thing we're looking for is how many hamburgers did they cook in all. But what is the other question? What is the hidden question that we're trying to answer? If you need a minute to think about it, go ahead and stop the video because Mrs. V is going to keep going. All right. So we know that each dad cooked a total amount of hamburger. We know that Matt's dad cooked 36 hamburgers, but we don't know how many hamburgers Jack's dad cooked. We know he cooked less than Matt's dad. So we need to figure out first, how many hamburgers did Jack's dad cook? Okay? So that's our step 1. So on my little board, I'm going to put step 1. I know that he cooked fewer, and fewer tells me that I'm going to have to subtract, right? So, if Matt's dad cooked 36 and Jack's dad cooked 6 fewer, I'm going to subtract 36 minus 6, correct? Correct. And that would be 30, right? All right. And now step 2 says we have to figure out how many they had in all. So if we're doing in all, we know that we are adding. All right. Okay. So Matt's dad had how many? 36. Jack's dad had how many? Yeah, it's the answer we just figured out. It's 30. So we need to add 36 plus 30 to see how many they had in all. And how many would they have in all, everybody? 66. Okay, and remember, it's not about if adding and subtracting is the easy part. This is about getting the steps down. It's about getting the steps down. Okay? All right. So that's what I want you to focus on today. We're going to give you 2 problems to do on your own. Okay? And I'm going to have these posted on the Google site. But your first one is going to be the cook made sandwiches for the campers, 35 cheese and 35 tuna fish. The campers ate 63 of the sandwiches for lunch. Your first question is, how many sandwiches did the cook make in all? Your second question is how many of the sandwiches were left after the campers ate lunch? Okay. And then your second question is there were 17 boys and 22 girls signed up to go on the canoe trip. When it was time to go, 5 of the children stayed behind because they wanted to finish their craft projects. A, how many children signed up to go on the canoe trip? And B, how many children actually went on the canoe trip? Okay? All right. I hope you guys have a great day. Remember, you can take a picture of your work and your parents can send it to me through email. You can get fancy and put it in a PowerPoint or a Google slide or a Word document or a Google Docs document and submit it to me that way. All right. And I want you not to choose both of the problems for this afternoon. I want you to choose one of the two that I read to you. And I want you to only complete one of them and turn it into me. I hope you all have a great day. I will see you later, guys. Bye.